everyone, my name is Coach Carlos.
I'm a physical education teacher, basketball coach, and actually I'm Associated Vice President of Basketball Operations for NBA Asia. I have been living in Europe, Africa, America, India, Hong Kong, and around the world, and I'm lucky to be able to share my love for the game in every continent of the world so far. And I love to talk with people and inspire people. And I have 4 grandkids, and I'm a happy person, and I express that every day.
Explain your pathway from athlete to becoming a coach.
I'll say before I was a coach, I was in love with the game as a player. And one fact of life is the game of basketball is very interesting because regardless if you are short or tall, it's a game for all, so everyone can play. And I fell in love with the game when I was like 6 years old, and I played until I was 20. Unfortunately, I broke my elbow 2 times the same year, and at the time I had to make a decision and keep forcing myself to play basketball or finish my degree in physical education. And I decided, under the recommendations of the doctors, that instead of take risks, I will love the game the same way.
How important is mental resilience skill for a basketballer?
Particularly interesting because a basketball game, imagine on a regular game you have like 85, 90 possessions per game, which means that a lot of time you make a mistake. And I remember to learn that from a famous coach of NBA, Chuck Dell, that he was the coach of the Dream Team in 1992, that he was talking to me and he was saying, if you are not ready to lose, you cannot be a coach of NBA because everyone loses games. Pass that to the game in himself is like, you need to be tough to immediately rebound from a mistake, immediately rebound from something that is not going on well on the court. So the basketball game is a team, and be a team can be a strength, can be a weakness. Because if the team has the capacity to solve the problems, solve the minus moments of the game, and overcome that with the right attitude, they're really a strong team. If they don't have that capacity from individual to team, you will pay the price. Because if you are not able to rebound from negative, you're not just going to lose one game, as if that rebound keeps, that bad attitude keeps going after the game, you're going to lose the next game. So having that ability of being resilient and be able to find solutions in yourself and in your team is almost...
How can the mental health of a player impact performance?
I think it's the key. For example, when you talk about basketball, one of the questions that I have around the world is, oh, I'm too small, can I play basketball? And it's, in these days, I mean, of course the size is important in basketball because the goal is up there, but at the same time the quickness and the strength and the mental strength are probably more important than anything else. So if you are not strong here, if you don't have the mentality that you can overcome any adversity that you have, it's difficult to be an athlete. So I think it's really one of the keys of success for any athlete, and in basketball is obvious important. It's not important. It's like the most important thing is how strong you are mentally to face the game and not be afraid of challenge yourself to give your best all the time.
Is it possible to help an athlete when they won't admit they don't require assistance?
Today, coaches are more than just basketball coaches. Coaches are like a top of a chain of specialists. And I'm talking about, when you think about the world of NBA teams or best teams in the world, it's not the same thing when you go outside of that environment. That a coach sometimes has assistant coach, sometimes not have an assistant coach. So the coach is a little bit of everything. The coach is the father, the mother, the friend, the psychologist, the strength conditioner coach. It's a little of everything. So one of the probably the most important things for someone to be responsible to inspire youth is that is someone that studied not just the game, but everything around the game that can support that ability to read under the lights. So another thing is that if you have a positive leadership, you're going to influence your students, your players. If you have a negative leadership, you're going to influence. And when I say the negative and positive here, I put something in between that is like a key for me, ability of communication. Because if you are a good leader, your students, your players, they feel safety, they feel safe, they feel that they can talk to you about anything. But if you are too, I don't say a bad person or a bad coach, but if you are not able to open that channels of communication with your players and your students, you will never have feedback from them, and they will never share with you things that maybe are there, but they don't have the power or they don't feel safe to share with you, with a coach, with a teacher. So it's really, the driver is the coach. The coach can make a difference in the life of a player. The teacher can make a life difference in a student. A guru can make a life change in people. So ability to let people talk and ability to listen, it's two very important qualities that the coach-teacher needs to have.
Among the high-performing athletes you've worked with, what are some common traits they possess?
Great athletes, because they are great listeners. They listen to people, they recognize who can help them on their careers, and they pay attention. They pay attention to the details. They pay attention to the values, the respect, and all that things. And it looks like it's just, that doesn't interfere with performance. Everything interferes with performance. So the way people handle themselves on and off the court is like, it's like their business card, who I am. I am a winner. And why I'm a winner? Because I'm humble, because I listen to people, because I'm correct with people, I respect people. So these are most of the time the most common reference that I can see of the great athletes, and I've been working with a lot of them. It's this capacity of being the best and at the same time be able to listen from the others.
What mindset challenges do you feel the current generation of athletes struggle with compared to previous generations?
I'll say this generation faced something that was not there before: social media. Social media can crash you or can put you on the top of the mountain. And it's so today people can ignore it, but you should ignore it, because in fact, who are not on social media these days? And if you are part of a team, you probably are on social media. So it's and today, unfortunately, people use social media not all the time for the good reasons, sometimes for the bad reasons or bad ways of expressing. And this is something very special, and it's not the easy one, because social media is open to everyone, and that's definitely a challenge that players need to kind of handle. Athletes, parents, coaches, whoever surround the athletes, that's one of the biggest challenges that they have, that previous generations, they didn't have to deal with that.
What are some ways you encourage growth mindset to help athletes break out of their comfort zones?
Be positive. I have some expressions that I use: don't make your players cry, make them smile. And the way, like if I'm on a court and the players are coming to the court, even your face, it's your mimics, like an expression what's going on. Because if your players come to the court and you see someone that is always upset, someone that is always frustrated, that is always recriminating people, yelling at people, they are not coming with 100% of energy for you. But they step on the court and they see a coach. It's like, come on, guys, let's go. Let's have a great day. Let's have a great practice. So there are behaviors that goes beyond what is just the techniques, that are the behaviors that can make a difference. We all have good days and bad days, but we can create like a trademark that a team, whatever the team is, basketball or anything, when the team get together, we are celebrating something. We are celebrating ourselves. We are celebrating our togetherness. We are celebrating our values. And it's unique because when you assemble a group together, you never know when the group is going to be changing. So the coach needs to be a true leader of the celebration of that moment that you spend together. So this is kind of a underline what needs to work on specifics for each one of the players, because no one is equal. So a coach needs to make a sense, like if I'm working with even twins are 1 + 1 and not two people that we talk to them at the same way just because they're similar to each other. Because they're similar on faces, but inside of each one of them has his own issues. So by saying that means that the coach needs to be a leadership of the group, but also needs to be the mentor of each one of the players. And I repeat, have the ability of listen, not just be the one who talks. Because you can, regardless your age as a coach or a teacher, if you have that ability to listen from the others, you keep improving yourself and you keep learning also, not just teaching, but also learning.
What recommendations would you give to maintaining of your mental health?
Right purpose. That's my first phrase that comes out of my mouth and my mind. Right purpose. If you do the things with the right purpose, you can handle the bad days, you can handle the defeats, you can handle the adversity because you have the right purpose. If you don't have the right purpose, then you're going to be lost in emotions. Another thing is how sustainable is your team. I love team more than individual, because a team is something like someone fell on the ground, there's going to be a hand to help you and bring you up. And bring you up not just because you fell on the ground, but also bring you up if you are in not a good situation in your life. So a team can be something and an element that helps the weakness of each one. If it's a good team, if it's a bad team, a team can be someone that humiliated you more if you have any issue. So, a good team is made of good people. So recruiting and selecting people for the team is like first job and first orientation. What kind of team do I want to coach?
Thank you for watching.